Hey guys, so crazy news. Microsoft turned down the bid to buy TikTok, and Oracle is now going to be allegedly running TikTok US operations. Most young people have no idea what Oracle is or who Larry Ellison, the founder, is, but he's a really interesting guy. I think he's the 7th richest person in the world, and he is all about data. Like, he's gotten into public fights with Google and Larry Page, and he was best friends with Steve Jobs. He is a ultimate winner. Although data is not that sexy, I feel like buying TikTok or taking a hold of TikTok is like a major flex for Larry, because data is not that sexy. But now all of a sudden he is going to be running this very important data conversation for the United States with TikTok. And I think that, Oracle is synonymous with data. Larry Ellison has claimed on many occasions that basically all the biggest, most popular companies like Amazon and other companies, that they use Oracle's technology. He even claimed that Google copied their technology, and he's even willing to put down his own clients, such as Amazon, saying essentially that they can't run without Oracle. So I think that since Larry Ellison is very clearly trying to have a very popular brand, that's the one thing that he hasn't yet accomplished in his career in terms of like what's cool. Obviously a lot of business B2B companies of course know what Oracle is, but in terms of like being popular within culture, TikTok is something that is, basically a unicorn in social media and culture. And now Larry Ellison is at the center of that. And what does that mean for TikTok? I'm not sure. I heard rumors that TikTok's not going to give up its algorithm, which is basically what TikTok is. It's really interesting also, how will Larry Ellison's personality influence TikTok? Who knows? I mean, there was a book written about Larry in 2003 that was titled "The Difference Between Larry Ellison and God is that God doesn't think he's Larry Ellison." So he is a winner by design. He is a really interesting guy. His daughter is in the LGBTQ community. She has a really popular, a really successful production company in Hollywood. And Larry Ellison, I think he's for sure the richest person in California. Anyway, this should be really interesting. Did a little research on Larry. I've known about him for a long time, but if you want to watch these clips, you can kind of get to know who Larry Ellison is and do your own research on Oracle. All right, bye.
He's been called the godfather of technology, the Iron Man of business. Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison. Watch small companies become big companies, try to compete with you. Assess the industry for us. What strikes you most about what you've seen over the last several years, I'll say?
Well, again, sometimes I liken the computer industry to the fashion industry, that certain brands get very, very popular, certain brands get very unpopular. IBM, when I first came into the industry, was the ultimate brand. It was not a company against whom you would compete, it was the environment in which you would compete. Amazon now is kind of the number one brand in infrastructure cloud computing. Let me tell you an interesting fact. Amazon does not use AWS to run their business. Amazon runs their entire business on top of Oracle, on top of the Oracle database. They have been unable to migrate to AWS because it's not good enough. Now, I keep saying this, and they just spent another $50 million with us last year buying still more Oracle database. I keep saying this, saying, well, maybe our database is better than Amazon's databases. And, well, why else would Amazon keep buying our database? So they last year bravely said that they're sick of these comments of mine, and they're going to move off of Oracle. And they're going to move off of Oracle by 2020. Well, guess what? They took their first step. They just moved a bunch of their warehouses off of Oracle. And guess what happened? I'll send you a copy of Amazon's internal memo. They went down. It failed. They had a huge outage. And they said if they had stayed with the Oracle database, this wouldn't have happened. The Oracle database manages most of the world's data. Today, 10 years ago, Nothing has changed. All of the world's important, valuable data is in an Oracle database. They're not in Amazon's database. Amazon won't use its own database. Great, your database is so great. What have you done wrong? Well, we didn't get our database to the cloud quickly enough. It's really hard to build a secure cloud. It took us a while. We think we're there now. We have by far and away the best database in the world. Nothing's close.
That's incredible. The fact that they're a customer and you continue to poke them to make sure, because they're trying to get at your market share in one area, and yet they're on your database platform.
Well, people say, well, Oracle has no chance in database. Amazon's going to dominate everything. Well, you'd think one of the early customers at Amazon would move. How about Amazon? No, Amazon picked Oracle.
How do you...
We don't compete with Google. We don't do anything Google does. No. We just think they took our stuff and that was wrong. That's a completely separate issue.
But I mean, you think they're evil?
I think what they did was absolutely evil.
And you blame Larry Page?
100% Larry Page.
So if what they did is evil, that makes Larry Page evil?
No, it makes what he did evil, which is quite different. And I know his slogan is "Don't be evil." Yeah, my best friend for 25 years.
What is it about him? We recognize the fact that he loved Apple, he wanted to make Apple great, and he did. But what was it about him that enabled him to do it other than he worked hard?
He was brilliant. I mean, he was our Edison. He was our Picasso. He was an incredible inventor.
Career of Silicon Valley.
Larry's attitude is, if you want to compete against me, then be prepared to be crushed.
Larry Ellison started Oracle Software over 30 years ago, and it has made him the highest paid executive over the last decade, with a total compensation of $1.84 billion.
There was nobody better than Larry at making a customer believe that he could change that person's business life with his product.
He sees around the corner well before many of us get to the end of the street.
He'll do whatever it takes to win, in the office.
SAP, the German software firm, was ordered to pay Oracle $1.3 billion.
Or on the ocean.
There is absolutely no doubt that he hates to lose.
His company's technology has become the backbone of the world's information systems, from government to online commerce. The brazen billionaire is an ambitious provocateur with a singular management style.
I have a theory that Larry's succession plan for Oracle is he is trying to figure out a way that when he's 6 feet under in a grave, he can still run Oracle.